Some important things to not do in the culture. When you're out in the market, one thing I actually had a negative, a pretty crazy experience. Markets are all open air. And so these people kind of come in and they spread their stuff out on the ground, and you just kind of walk along and buy what you want. And one thing I did, we were walking along a road and I actually stepped over a woman's products. She had it was tomatoes and onions, and I stepped over her product to get to the other side, and she yelled at me and ripped into me so hard because of how inconsiderate that is. So watch doing that. I would highly recommend not doing that one. Another thing is watch how you use your hands. Culturally, this is how you call someone to you. You'd go like this towards them. Did you get that? Do this. I was in a district meeting and I went like this to someone, and that is a big no-no. It's like calling a prostitute, or it's very not good. So yeah, that's a good one. What else do they do? They have unique ways of calling a bus. You say, like on a bus, you yell loud so they know you're getting off, or you whistle, and that tells them you want to get off the bus. The people themselves are very friendly, especially if you're a foreigner. They love foreign people. You mostly get into people's house because you're foreign, and then they realize, the importance of your message, and you either get to stay or don't. Unique things, I guess. You shake your hand like this. You grab your forearm and kind of bow a little bit to shake. When you're interrupting a conversation or walking between two people, you kind of do like a little hunch, and you say, azafad, which means like I'm sorry or excuse me. You hunch, and you kind of like do a little crawl through people. Are there unique things as far as etiquette? It's very polite to use proper language. You'll learn, a lot about like saying manawana tumku, which means tumku means Lord. But they use it as almost like sir. So you use that a lot with men and women. They don't really have a gender, back, left or right, male or female, like French would, or like we do. It's just all an implication in who you're talking about. You might use names. Eating etiquette. This is one thing that I still haven't lost. I mean, when you eat rice is difficult to eat with a fork. I mean, it's very hard to eat with a fork. So what you do is you use a spoon. So you use the spoon like you'd hold a spoon here, and then you use the fork to kind of like shovel it onto the spoon. So you got like a two-hander going on all the time. You'll get used. I had my favorite spoon. So I mean, that's how you use that. Any other food etiquette? Finish your food. It's important to remember a pace. They have a fuma fiteni, which means like a cliche or like a way of speaking. Let me see if I can say it right. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Which means that the wise will pretend to be full, but the crazy or the foolish will just stuff their faces. And what they're trying to say by that is these people, because they're poor, you have to be careful how much you eat of their food. If you eat too much too fast, they're going to bring you more food, which might have been the food that they were saving for the next day. So just control your pace. My biggest rule with eating was eat as fast as the host is eating. And then, when the host is done, you're done. And that way you're keeping a good relationship. Because, I mean, these members are sacrificing to feed you. So I was an extreme fan of their music. I mean, as a missionary, I'm not supposed to listen to it too much, so I mostly do that now after being home. But I did amass a fairly good collection of what they like to listen to. They're trying to follow the major world trends, mostly pop, but they do have like their own classical style, which you'll experience. They have a very unique cultural form of music, which they combine with dancing. You'll see some of those cultural dances. Some other unique cultural things, they do a thing called a famadiana, which is involved in their ancestors. They will, I think it's once or twice a year, go to their family tombs, remove the bones of their family members, and have like a party with them. I mean, some things can seem a little ritualistic, and we're supposed to avoid those. But most of the time, it's just for remembrance, and those are usually a very, very long and fun procession they do for those things. I never got to go to one, but I'd always wanted to. All right, holidays are mostly religious. The island itself is extremely Christian. And depending where you are, there's some areas that are very Hindu, there's some areas that are very Muslim. And so I don't think there's a lot of Hindu, there's mostly Muslim. So you'll experience that, but on a large scale, either it's very, very Catholic or Protestant. They celebrate Easter excessively. They do a lot of all-night church sessions. You'll hear them singing or praying all night long. I lived next to one of these churches at one point, and 2 or 3 in the morning they're over there singing, and that was nice. But they celebrate pretty much the main holidays we do. Christmas. They don't have anything unique to America. their Independence Day, I think it's July 24th. That's a fun day. You get really scared of that day because everybody breaks out their fireworks and they don't have any laws. So you have people throwing firecrackers, little things at you all the time. So those are fun times. The thing is, they don't have a whole lot of cultural history. I mean, their culture wasn't really a written culture as far as I know. I mean, I may not be I'm not the biggest professional on the culture, but it wasn't written until, less than, I think, 200 years ago. I mean, maybe even less than 100. And so what they have is what they've got right now. I mean, they have a lot of influence from Africa because, I mean, like I didn't mention earlier, that Africa is kind of like their hub for everything. That's where their temple is, Johannesburg. And so, I mean, it's very influenced by that, by the French. And anything they do have is very handmade. I saw some very beautiful pieces of art. Instruments are all handmade. I knew a lot of missionaries that had guitars made. I mean, I have this that I carry with me, alligator skin wallet that, they crafted. So, I mean, they do all kinds of things. I mean, one of the very common things for missionaries to do over there is to bookbind. Bookbinders are everywhere. You can have anything bound for, less than $10. I have like, I preach my gospel, all my scriptures, I bound a lot of things in different textures. You can have them bound in alligator. I mean, it's pretty unique. They're very mineral rich. There's a couple provinces that have lots of precious stones. So I knew missionaries that would buy some precious stones. I should have worn it. They have another unique cultural thing is a vangu vangu. It means bracelet or cult. It's a very proper thing to do. Every man has himself a vangu vangu. It's just a silver bracelet. I have one of those. Yeah.